Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ever-punctual Thunderstorm podcast. And we're getting ourselves back into some hot takes. See, back a couple years ago, we got together for a very similar discussion, and it brought to us some of the most aggressive, violent, and kind of insane conversations we have ever had on any of our videos on our channel. I am Rin, and with me is Kaz and Arias.
Hi.
The Pork Chopper.
What's up?
Sliv.
Ayo.
And as always, the unnamed guest.
Yo.
And who would like to open us off on this hot takes journey? Spicy takes. The things that make other people angry that, you know what, maybe they're not thinking hard enough on it. This might be a hot take. Open world games should make you work harder for teleporting.
They should, actually. I agree.
Fuck!
No, but like, no. That is kind of a hot take, though, because I feel like most people would disagree with that. But I do agree.
I think it should be something you have to work for. I think even like Final Fantasy 14, it's not true. Like, I'm not talking about the fast travel system in that game because it's basically the cost is negligent at best. But I'm thinking like how you have to unlock the ability to fly in an area. I think you should accomplish something in that area first to be able to teleport back there. You should earn the right to go back there faster.
I mean, I think it sort of depends on the open world game, right? In something like Xenoblade, it feels like retreading the same area, like it's just kind of annoying and not really like, you know, a big thing. It's not as like, I don't know, it's not as convenient as something like Final Fantasy 14.
But I also think that like if you implement the need for an effort to get the teleport, it might lead to more effort going into those areas going through. Because so many games, you end up in the situation where you never see like massive areas, and if you put a lot of effort into an area no one's ever going to see, that's something that feels pretty bad, I imagine, as a developer. So you're going to put more time elsewhere, which is going to be the hubs right by the teleports. I think to an extent we've lost the beat of the destination is sometimes the journey. There are some games that come out where like the whole map's basically ready for you to go from the get-go, and I think that's wrong. I think you need to work for it. I think you need to complete what you're doing in that area, and then you can teleport back for free for the post-game or something.
Have you played Oblivion Remastered?
I have not yet.
This is one thing that I noticed in that game, and as I started using it, I lost interest in playing. From the get-go, like as soon as you get like player freedom and you exit the sewers and shit,
Yeah.
you can fast travel to any town in the entire game world right at the start of the game. You can go do whatever the fuck you want, instantly go there. And it kind of killed the experience.
Yeah, it's like, I think the joy, especially of a game like Oblivion or similar, is the trip of getting there the first time, the exploration, the seeing something pop up ahead and go, well, let's go check that out. That's somewhat missing, I feel, from a lot of games now. And when you don't have an incentive to actively explore, especially those smaller areas get missed a lot in both development and execution in the end of the day.
Rin, have you played Breath of the Wild?
Some of it, yeah.
How do you feel about teleportation in that game? Because I vividly remember there are some towers that like have sludge on them or something, or like have really weird things that you need to traverse, or like some weird enemy bullshits around the tower that make it kind of harder to get to. And I think in some cases, like dealing with that thing and then having the ability to travel, like it does feel earned. It does feel like, yes, I have this now convenient thing, but I also did something to get that.
Yeah.
That wasn't just climbing the tower.
Well, I mean, that was part of Rin's argument. He was saying that you should have to do something. He's probably...
I'm asking him if he thinks that's, like that
enough?
would be good.
Enough for something.
Yeah.
I'm sure like that, or like a quest line or something, or like complete the story in that, the main story in that area, stuff like that. But I think like if it's like you clean up an area and then you can use the teleport there, that's also valid, I think.
I feel like I agree with you to a point. As a guy that this is a weird one, but I rarely unlock flying in like most areas of Final Fantasy XIV, which requires you to see a bunch of vistas, collect, these little aether things, and then do a bunch of fucking stupid subquests in order to unlock flying, which I'm kind of lumping in with teleportation in this point because both are technically an easier form of travel. I feel like the thing that should help you like make traveling easier should be personally directly tied to traveling or exploring. I am not a fan of doing 8 random ass quests in order to also unlock an easier form of travel myself. I would see how people would be like, well, you're seeing more of the world, you're seeing more of the area if you do those, and that is kind of part of traveling, but I find a lot of subquests in games tedious generally, and I would rather the thing to unlock be tied to something more gameplay oriented or exploration focused rather than, hey, you didn't help Tommy get his fucking ball, do that, and then you can fly.
I would say the counterpoint to that is it becomes an argument of having better side quests.
Sure.
I think like Final Fantasy XIV has done a good job with some of his side quest lines of just some of the side quest lines in that game are very good. I remember some like in Heavensward, there's like a quest line with like I think it's like the academy or the church or something. I did the quest line because I wanted that you can get clothing from it, and I really like that quest line. That one just stands out in my mind right off the bat. I'm trying to remember some others off the top of my head, but it's a failing on the game design side if the side quests are bad, right?
Yeah.
So the main thing I'll say about like a fast travel, especially in like an open world S game, is it kind of depends on the size of the map to a point. Because when your map gets like too big, you need to implement it somewhat. Because if you figure out that there's something you want to do on the other side of the map, it sucks to think to yourself, I literally have to walk 15 minutes now. That's not a fun, just like in a straight line, because you know exactly what you want. Obviously, the point of that would probably be you'd probably get distracted along the way, but it's still like this moment of like, ugh, I have to walk now. This sucks. I do agree that I like when fast travel is unlocked through like a gameplay thing as opposed to just arriving.
Yeah.
Like, you arrive to a new town, boom, you have fast travel, as opposed to you show up at the new town as part of the main quest and you do a thing there. Now the main quest there is over and now you can fly there anytime or, teleport there, whatever you want to call it. If you want to have like no fast travel at all in your game, travel either needs to be somehow fast, like there needs to be like a movement system that's like really fun. Like, I don't know, you can run at super speed and you like do some weird parkour stuff that's like cool. Or like your world needs to be kind of small.
Yeah, I
deal with it.
Yeah, I get we can't go like I wouldn't want to go back to like a Morrowind where like I think it was like you can get the scrolls of teleportation and stuff. I think that's going too far the other direction. But I think there's like a balance to be struck here.
Whether or not this is a hot take between us, I think, gentlemen, I'm going to say this isn't a competition for who has the hottest take. It's just a matter of, hey, here's something that probably a lot of people would disagree with, and let's talk about it. So just for the frame of reference for this conversation. Because what Rin brings up isn't wrong, and even though we all agree with it, it's still worth talking about.
Well, yeah, because I guarantee the general gaming public would just want fast travel like right from the start. They want that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think the majority of people would want fast travel in the sense like every node is unlocked immediately. I think most people would probably at least want to, at minimum, need to reach it the first time by walking.
Maybe.
I don't think
I've seen a lot of people that just bitch about travel in games.
I see people complain about like backtracking and stuff, which fast travel alleviates, obviously. I don't hear so much as people like they open the open world game and they go like, I want to go to the top north part of the map. Why isn't fast travel already available? I've never heard that argument.
I've seen that. Specifically
That
from
person-
the younger generation.
That person's weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess that person is used to fucking Fortnite dropping in on the battle bus where you can just land.
Probably,
Yes.
literally, yes.
Yeah, literally, yes. But yeah.
Gaming is dead. All right.
Fortnite.
Fortnite battle. Pass.
All right. FF12 fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I'm just going to lay it out. I have wanted to love this game. I have tried my fucking best. I like the characters other than Vaughn, whatever the fucking little Aladdin piece of shit. I like Balthier and Fran and their weird little thing going on. I like Ash. I like a lot of the weird political war intrigue going on with Final Fantasy 12. And it is unfucking fortunately in a game that wants to desperately be an MMO, but isn't, and has sort of MMO combat, but isn't, and is automated. So, oh, fuck, where do I start? The combat, by design, it is just like, hey, just create a bunch of else-if statements for your party members. If health bar is below 50%, use potion, and you just... The optimal way to play this game, just so that nobody bitches at me in the comments for not getting Final Fantasy 12, is to just make a bunch of statements for your party members for if this happens, do this thing. And the game is designed for you to take advantage of that, and unfortunately, when you do, it becomes the most tedious fucking thing on earth to play. And every single time I've booted up and I've wanted to get through it, it feels like a slog. I cannot imagine playing a version of this game without the fast forward button. And I am glad and happy for everyone that likes it, that got like the Zodiac Age and had that added in, because fuck, it is tedious. I could not imagine being a Final Fantasy fan at the time where Final Fantasy X comes out, Final Fantasy XI comes out, it's an MMO and you don't like it. Final Fantasy 12 comes out and it's basically kind of like an MMO. And you just desperately want some kind of turn-based thing. I could not imagine how shit that would be for somebody who loved the series.
It was not good.
Yeah, this might lead into another hot take, but I kind of think MMO combat should stay in MMOs. I like Xenoblade. I am playing through Xenoblade 2, but I am finding a lot of my time playing Xenoblade 2 is... it's just kind of like Final Fantasy 12, but with more... Like, it's a little bit more in-depth. Like, the timing of your moves matters a bit more. The location of, like, where you are compared to, like, your enemies matter more. But it is just kind of a lot of going through a giant open world and dodging the level 48 monkey that is roaming around for some fucking reason. Yeah, Final Fantasy 12 is ass. I'm sorry. Like, I say that as one of the purest Final Fantasy fans ever. I fucking hate this game.
So, what I will say about the Final Fantasy 12 gambit system is I think it's a good idea in the case of like AI party members. If it was like an action RPG, let's say it was an action RPG and you play as Vaughn and you play like you press square, he does a sword hit, you know? And then you set up gambits for all your AI teammates as well. Think, you know, like you know when you play like Kingdom Hearts and all you want Donald to do is fucking heal you and he won't?
Yep.
You know, if there was a gambit system in that where I could tell Donald when I'm, you know, don't use magic when you have this low of mana so that you can use healing when I'm low kind of thing would be great. I think that's a strength of the gambit system. And you can see something similar to that in, what's it called? Dragon Age Origins has this as well. It has a very similar idea. You can set up these like if-else statements for your characters.
Yeah.
And when I play that game, I set it up for all like the AI party members, and I just controlled my main character's hotbar. Now that game is more of a real time with pause, and you're kind of supposed to control everyone at once, but you can set up these things so like it's less of a hassle. So I don't think the gambit system is bad. I think that it can be utilized well for just fine-tuning AI party members. And going forward, if Final Fantasy wants to continue doing action, which seemingly is what they want to do, it would be a good idea to bring that back
for sure
for the AI party members. What I was playing was a Final Fantasy VII Remake. I didn't like that I had to play the entire party Like, I didn't like that I had to constantly swap to everyone to make them do worthwhile things.
Yeah. That's fair.
So if there was a gamma system where I could play as Cloud and do what Cloud does, and I could actually make,
Barrett,
if there's a flying enemy, Barrett hit the flying enemy, you dumb fuck.
Yeah.
That game also has issues of if the AI party members just literally don't generate AP, but that's
that game just has issues.
I'm not a fan of the Final Fantasy VII remake stuff, but the game system has its space. But yeah, in 12, it can lead to you effectively turned the game off for yourself. You just hit and go, and your characters run around and kill everything.
And it's not like I need to stress that this isn't an exploit. This isn't like the game is literally just designed for you to take advantage of it and use its gambits. It shows you exactly how to use them, and then it just plays itself. And it sucks.
I do want to counterpoint off of one of the things you said, which is the whole like MMO shouldn't be in the single player or MMO
combat
shouldn't be in the single player space.
Yeah.
I would say that MMO should have more options if you want to play alone. One of the big things I would say, Final Fantasy XIV has the trust system now, which is an implementation that allows you to play through a lot of the content in single player with an AI party. Another game that did it surprisingly well is the original Guild Wars. You had the ability to build a party with rentals that would join you on your adventures, and they obviously wouldn't be as good as a fully geared player, but the gear they had would be good enough for the area you were in. So it'd be like whatever town you were in, you could get your rentals, and they'll be scaled to the level of wherever you go outside.
Mm-hmm.
I think there needs to be more systems like that, because I sometimes just don't want to deal with other people when I'm playing an MMO.
But to be fair, those are MMOs. He's talking about actual single-player RPGs.
But he's making a different point, which is that MMOs should be accessible to the person that just wants to do their own thing.
That's true.
And honestly, I agree with that because long-term Final Fantasy, if Final Fantasy 14 ever goes offline, I think it's when you actually look at the story and how cool all of the shit that happens is, I would want to preserve some kind of single-player aspect of that game, and if the game was actually made to accommodate for something like that for long term, if it were to shut down, that would be very cool. I'm not sure if it necessarily goes against the design philosophy of MMOs, because yes, again, they by nature are massively multiplayer. But yeah, I don't want to live in a world where I can't play Shadowbringers.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a shame when I do.
Be real, I just don't want to. Sometimes, you, especially let's use FF14 as an example, where you very commonly will end up in a random party for a dungeon or something.
Yeah.
I just want to get through whatever I'm doing. I don't need it to be the fastest clear ever, but I want to get through it reliably without having some mentor who lobotomize themselves and cut off their hands immediately before entering the dungeon.
Yeah.
That is I am God's gift to supports, or I'm the best tank ever, I don't need tank stance on, or something. Or something stupid like that. I just want to play the game sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes other people, it feels, get in the way of that. I understand the counterpoint to that is, play a different game. But sometimes, I like FF14's story.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I agree. Sorry, there's no arguments here. I agree.
I feel like I ran into this last time where I'm like, hey, here's a point I think will be controversial. And everyone's like, yeah, no, it's a really good point.
Almost all of your points, we shut you down right away. And it's yeah, I agree with you.
Well, but the thing is, again, it's things that
it's
the
just
general public
things that
disagree with. But
that would spark discussion.
All right, boys.
Okay, what you got?
Hot take.
What you got?
If your game has online multiplayer and somehow it can't run on console with local multiplayer, you need to go back and fucking optimize your game.
I don't know necessarily that's a hot take. I think that optimization is a huge problem right now, and developers are getting so overbloated and so unoptimized with their games. Look at Call of Duty, it's taking up whole hard drives. It's
400 gigabytes.
Yeah, so I think that's just a huge issue in the gaming space right now, where they're well, you have the space and you have the headroom, and if you don't, you can use AI to fill the gap. So we don't need to actually take the time to shrink things down. Meanwhile, you had developers years ago now who were able to put things onto a single CD that are, in some cases, are still somewhat impressive. Half-Life 2 in its original form still looks good.
Yeah. Like, look at 360, for example, right? You had fucking, like, Modern Warfare 2 running 4-player local multiplayer with no problems at all.
Yeah.
So, how do we account for like the big games? I mean, like, if an MMO has online multiplayer, how do we account for making that local multiplayer?
I'm talking about, like,
He's talking.
a retail game.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
talking like
Not like an MMO.
like a COD
Okay,
or similar, where you know, traditionally, because we're a group of old men, we remember playing the
Split
local multiplayer split screen with
Yeah.
Halo or COD or
Like, look at
Kong Racing.
what was it last year? Sparking Zero.
Yeah.
You were only allowed to play in the Room of Spirit and Time at launch in local multiplayer because they couldn't optimize it without patches.
Yeah, and like it doesn't look that much better than the Dragon Ball Z games on freaking Xbox 360.
Yes.
Like, it has, because it's cell shaded, it doesn't look that much better.
But does it run on Unreal Engine 5?
Probably, that's probably the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why. That engine fucking runs like ass.
Hot take, Unreal 5 is bad for gaming.
It fucking is.
It is
Hard to tell.
It's incredibly it's pretty bad for the budget-oriented gamer. The thing is that we're in this position right now where we have a segment of the market who cannot afford a new console because they keep raising the prices, who cannot afford to get a new gaming PC because the prices have gone up so much on GPUs, who are stuck on older hardware and can't upgrade any meaningful way, and they can't access the newest games coming out. Like, yes, you can get a system with like a 2060 or a 3050 or something in it for under $1,000 now. You're on a dead end, though. A lot of times, you're like, the rest of the system's going to be older too, so you're going to be stuck on AM4. You're going to be in this position where you have no upgrade path, and in another 2 years, you're going to be in the exact same spot you started in. And we're coming off of a time period where that was very much not the case. You could still rock up until maybe a year or two ago. If you had a 750 Ti, you were probably fine. You weren't getting maybe 60 FPS in 1080p anymore, but you could still play newer games as they came out. Pretty much anything up to, I think, Cyberpunk, pretty much. You could probably still play that to a playable degree, depending on your definition of playable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, things have gotten out of hand. Like, it's the file sizes, the fucking shader caching that makes games fucking constantly stutter every 5 fucking seconds is insane. Like, it's just, a lot of things just need a total fucking rework.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything's going in this direction where it's like, oh, we'll get AI and DLSS to fix it, but like
That's not the solution. I hate that the solution is, oh yeah, we're gonna make you have to pay like in some cases up to $2,000 for a graphics card because our devs aren't given the time or don't have the skills to properly optimize this game to a playable state. For
Here's
most
some
people.
fake frames, buddy.
I hate that stuff, and I hate that the
Yeah.
mindset is, well, eventually we'll end up at 100% fake frames. I would rather play a game that's 20 years old at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
And, like, that might be a hot take in and of itself, that, like, games just aren't what they used to be.
But they aren't what they used
They
to be.
aren't. Like, you
You get good ones still, but they are fewer and far between.
And you end up getting them more from independent studios or smaller studios.
Yeah.
If you go to an Ubisoft or Activision or freaking EA, any of the big players, you're going to have some kind of issue. It's going to be some kind of catch, a caveat, or some bullshit that comes along right after the game launches if everything else goes smoothly. There's always a catch with it now, and I hate that.
Can I ape off that with a hot take?
Yeah, you can get in here.
I think that the advent of patches in games might have had a trickle-down effect that has fucked up games.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Zoomy Zooms and the Gen X's, or whatever the fuck they're called, may not know this, but once upon a time, a game came out and it was fucking done. That piece of art was on a cartridge and it would never be updated, and it was like that with all of its imperfections intact. The original Pokemon games are some of the glitchiest pieces of crap we've ever seen, and they are beautiful, and I love them for it. And I love that Focus Energy does the exact opposite of what it wants to do, and that there are so many ways to break that game if you know what you're doing. And they actually had to try and find the bugs. They didn't have players afterwards find them for them and then release patches and have us be their testers.
Yeah.
And this, when you really think about it, this has led to fucking what is the term I'm looking for? The Steam games that aren't finished.
Early access.
Thank
Early
you.
access, yeah.
Which is like the worst fucking model ever. Like,
I think the bigger issue is, first off, early access games that stay in early access for 20 years. But the bigger issue is when a AAA studio puts out their finished product,
oh yeah.
and it is in worse state than many early access games, and then they're like, well, in 6 months it'll be a good game. We shouldn't have to spend $100 on the promise that maybe in a certain amount of time a game will be playable.
Like, look at the grilled ass that was Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Yep.
Back it up. Imagine if Cyberpunk never got patches. Imagine what that dev site, like how much they would actually delay it and like reasonably iron out the bugs instead of putting out the piece of shit that they did and making us find it for them and fixing their game over the course of like 4 fucking years.
Yeah, and I hate rewarding that behavior.
Yes.
It was an interesting story when No Man's Sky did it, where they took a really disastrous game and they turned it into something good.
Sure.
I hate that so many games now are just that over again. You mentioned Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That game released in such a state that it was offensive to the people who love those characters.
Yeah.
Who love, especially like the treatment of what at the time we believed was Kevin Conroy's last role of Batman, getting shot in the head by Harley Quinn after making some dumb quip. People were pissed. But the thing is that half the story's in the base game. So we get like 2 years of a DLC path that'll never be finished. So they have to rush to the end of the story. But we get the rest of the story. And the story's fine if you have the context of everything else. But we don't have the context. So we just think it's this weird slap in the face to people who love the Batman Arkhamverse. So you end up in this weird position. And a lot of games, you can go back even to like last generation, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. That one that came out where it was unplayable on disc.
What was that? 5, right?
Yeah, it was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still
Fucking
bad, but like it was borderline unplayable on disc. And you have so many games now where the disc is just an install code.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just a DRM check at this point. And it's like, imagine you're in a lower income rural area that still in 2025, you don't have good internet access. Your options are Starlink or some antiquated satellite online system that downloads at a probably slower than freaking dial-up and costs you $1 billion a month. If you don't have access to internet, it is very challenging to be a gamer in this time. It's very inexcusable.
Yeah. Well, I agree with basically everything said here. I will say the idea of patches obviously still has a lot of upsides. Well, you'll say that, the original Pokemon, you find it, funny or charming that Focus Energy does the complete opposite of what it's supposed to do. I think we would still be the game would be better if it did work, right?
course.
Like if they could patch it, it would work. And even when they didn't have patches, games obviously still came out with serious glitches.
Yeah.
And also, I think somewhat we're overlooking that, QA is a thing and they do a lot of work.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like they're entirely releasing it for us to test for them. It's literally just that games, especially nowadays, are huge messes of code. There is so much there and being done by like thousands of people.
And the other thing is there's so much money tied up in a lot of these, especially like maybe I'll make a prediction right now. I think GTA 6 is going to be a mess at launch. After the development, how long it's been in development for?
I disagree. The reason that I disagree is because while GTA Online launched very much broken, GTA has traditionally, and pretty much just Rockstar in general,
usually hits.
they traditionally take a long time, and their games are actually very fucking good on release. I don't see that happening. I think when the online comes out, that's going to be broken, because that's even now that's still
Yeah.
They haven't had a lot of online games. It's mainly some bullshit in GTA 4 and then GTA Online and Red Dead Online, which fucking died immediately.
Yeah, I'm wrong on that one, but there are a lot of situations where like so much time and money gets poured into a game that they're like, man, we gotta make a profit or our studio's screwed.
Yeah.
Or especially like the more corporate companies, our shareholders are pretty pissed off. They want their quarterly profits up. We need to put this game out now. We can't delay it anymore.
Yeah. At least in the case of Rockstar, they're kind of the one developer where they can announce a delay, and Take-Two shares usually probably aren't going to drop, if any. The shareholders aren't going to complain because GTA 5 made like fucking billions. I think it's sold like over 170 something million copies now. They know whenever Rockstar releases a game, they're going to make bank for like many, many years to come. But I think one of the overall issues with games is, so the idea of patches, for example, is good. Just like the idea of DLSS is good. The idea of variable refresh rate is good, where when a game has choppy performance, because your TV or your monitor matches that frame rate, you don't notice drops in frames. Those are good things, but it's just far too often where when you come out with a feature like that to try to improve the quality of life for gamers, developers seem to take advantage of that. It's like, yeah, this game, sure, it's got shit performance, but it's okay. We've done enough QA now. We can just push it out. We'll fix it later. We need to make money. People are going to buy it anyway. Every time we do some kind of quality of life improvement, games just traditionally get worse across the board.
Yeah.
To take advantage of it. It's just a total wrong direction.
Yeah, because like you said, like a lot of those on paper and like initially in execution are good things. Like having the ability to patch a game is great. It means that, if something is found to cause like a huge break in your system or something, or there's some like fatal crash that was missed, you can now deal with that. And that's really important. I think that's really big. All these things that allow you to have a smoother gameplay experience, even if you don't have the top end hardware, that's huge. It means that more people have access to games. And that's, I think, the most important thing of all is that people can play them. People can have them in their hands. It's just, you have these devs that come along and they say, yeah, well, you know what? We don't have to optimize this game now because we can just use FSR or freaking frame gen or whatever. And while it really, even though the game runs at 30 FPS on a 5080, well, you can just generate triple the frames and now it runs at 90 FPS on a 5080. So really, we're fine anyway, even though it looks like mud.
Yeah.
How do I say this? Artistically, I feel like, again, it's weird because games, they technically are art, and like, I get that they're giant teams of people working through code and stuff, but like, I guess to me, like artistically, there's something more appealing to, putting something out and then it just is as it is for the rest of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I can't, there's fan patches or whatever the fuck, and I'm sure there's a bunch of people that have worked on like N64 games, but like, I'm not saying whether or not it is a good or bad thing that on some level artistically it is dampened by the fact that you can just change shit now. Yeah. I'm just saying it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's also a slightly different conversation. There are examples like Skullgirls was a big one where they removed stuff from the art book that they had released and changed characters. There's other examples where a company will remove content from a game that already exists or completely alter the deal essentially. Yeah. Like even stuff like Overwatch where it's like, it's gone now. You have to play Overwatch 2, which is a wildly different game. There are a lot of situations like that that are seen as patches that are essentially changing what you purchased initially, the thing that you bought into. And that happens more than it should. Obviously, there's going to be, once again, situations where maybe that is justified, where maybe you have to remove a piece of content from something for some reason. I don't know, like a piece of fan art's in the game and something happens with that person.
Unfortunately, there's a contract with like a fucking, a song you use.
Yeah, license.
Oh, I hate
Alan
that.
Wake.
I
Alan
hate
Wake.
that so much. Or like GTA 5.
Yeah.
Once again, they removed whole stations because
Yeah.
the copyright ran on the music. Forza.
The cars.
Forza, the games literally
Last
get
card.
delisted every 4 years.
Ridiculous.
And the Horizon games especially. I love the Horizon series.
Yes.
And there is no good way to play some of them now because they've been delisted. There's like, if I want to legally play, I think 3 is considered one of the best ones.
Yes. 3 is really.
If I want to play Forza Horizon 3, it's gone now. So I have to either pirate it or you might be able to find a copy on disc somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Yeah, I think 3 was the one that was in Australia.
Yeah.
That one's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and
You can't
it's
buy it anymore.
Yeah, you can't buy it. And that really sucks. And that's sort of the nature of online gaming too. The whole like this game no longer exists. It's happened with like the Deadpool game like 5 times now.
Actually, though, yeah.
Every time someone sneezes, it gets pulled from freaking distribution.
What was it? Just like the other month, Bad Company 2 got delisted.
But that one, it's like after fucking like 15 years.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is it getting delisted now?
I'm guessing that one's more a case of they want people to move on to the other new one.
Onto the new one that's coming out, Battlefield 6.
At least Battlefield 6
It looks
to be
rad.
classic Battlefield, and I do want to fucking play it, but
Yeah.
like, as someone who owns Bad Company 2, it still would be nice to be able to go back to it someday and have people actually fucking playing it.
I bet you guys any money they'll never delist Hardline. Because that one sucked.
I'll give a hot take for this group. Call of Duty campaigns are so fucking back. Like, it's so fucking unbelievably back.
Cavs, when did they go away?
Are you fucking high?
There we go.
Are you
Hold
good?
on.
Back
Fucking
the
Black Ops 3 with the fucking Frozen Forest or whatever the fuck that bullshit was?
Infinite
Bro,
Warfare.
But like, you can have one or two
Ghosts.
bad ones. Okay, Kevin Spacey and...
that was Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare, which
Yes.
is mid as fuck.
Look,
But
just
like-
because we have the Wii U out doesn't mean we can rag on Call of Duty Ghosts.
Okay, hold on. Specifically, Raven Software Call of Duty campaigns are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and the last one I fucking played is like, I was actually kind of shocked. Like, I was just like, I'm gonna play this for nostalgia's sake. I like Black Ops when I was a kid. Played the shit out of them. Fuck it. Why not? I got fucking Pork Chopper's Xbox. I'll play it for free. Fuck it.
Play for free.
One mission, I'm like, I don't know. I'm doing some relatively generic stuff. The next, I'm like fucking fighting zombies in a facility. The next, I'm like playing like Metal Gear Solid 5 Lite, going around in like a fucking car in Afghanistan, taking out different camps and like fucking paying off enemies, making orders for like my squad members. Like,
Are you talking about Black Ops 6?
I don't, whatever the one
I
before
believe-
this year was.
Yeah, 6. I haven't played that, but I have heard it's
It's
really good.
solid. I was
Cold War was so good, too.
Yeah.
Literally, the newest one is literally just Cold War, but more of that shit. And like, I feel like the sad reality is like the people that like love Call of Duty are in it for the multiplayer, which
Don't play the campaign.
is like, it's like buying a fucking sports game every year. I don't understand it. It's like the same fucking game over and over and over again. I've always loved, the campaigns and zombies. That's what really drove me to Call of Duty over the years. And I was pleasantly fucking surprised by Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
That shit was actually solid.
It seems like while the multiplayer is regressing, and over time it's just worse,
To be honest,
the campaigns keep getting better.
with you, I'm not even sure like it's a regression. It's just like, it's just insanity. It's the same fucking thing over and over and over again. And every single fucking time they try to change anything about it, they're bitching. These people want the same fucking thing over and over and over again. And I do not understand it.
I hate it. Because, for example, with Call of Duty 4, one of the reasons why I loved it is if you look at the World War II games and then Call of Duty 4, everything was completely fucking new. Shooting through walls.
Sure.
Like all the different fucking create a class and perk systems and the fucking kill streaks and all this shit. Everything was new and people loved it. But then when they wanted to go away from that and try to innovate, they're like, whoa, hold on. No. This is what I want. This every year, give me the same thing with different maps. No.
But don't forget to give me Nuketown. You better not forget to give me Nuketown.
And every time it doesn't come with Nuketown, people bitch.
Yeah. Nuketown or Shipment. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Rust.
Rust 2. We need Rust 2.
Yeah.
Rust. Fuck.
Okay, here's a potential hot take, because we're talking about FPS games.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Master Chief Collection is not very good.
I did hear it was
can't-
like kind of not good and broken and a lot of things when it came out, and they were like slowly patching it. But like, what other than that, what is actually?
Yeah, like I heard it was ass at
I-
launch.
I have played a bit of particularly the Halo 1 and 2 multiplayer and stuff, and it is missing so much of the spice of the originals.
Do you think that's nostalgia though? Do you think it? Do you
Like,
think
is it because like we played it locally?
that's what I'm saying?
Maybe that's part of it, and maybe that's why it doesn't feel the same. It feels like there's definitely something missing, though. It doesn't quite have the same oomph to it that I had when I played it with friends, or even like playing the older games alone, playing like through Halo 3 alone. I have like very vivid memories of Halo 3's campaign and stuff, and I remember very little of playing the Master Chief Collection at all. And it's another one of those situations where, why is it so challenging? It's not like the hardest thing in the world to run, but why in particular, like the Halo 1 remaster and stuff, it's so hard to run compared to like, you can still get freaking Halo Combat Evolved, the
Dude, it ran on XP.
yeah, the Windows XP version
Yeah.
running on modern PCs, and it still looks good.
Relatively speaking, yes.
Well, because Halo, especially Halo 1 and 2, were like really strong on art style, so they're still
Yeah.
gonna look.
Yeah.
Since we just mentioned things looking good, I guess I'll do my main hot take, which is that I personally do not need nor really want graphics to like improve at all. I'm actually kind of fine where we're at. Honestly, I was probably kind of fine like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Hard agree.
Like I'm talking in terms of like fidelity and stuff. Like I don't necessarily need like a much higher resolution or like super more detailed textures or lighting. Obviously, I would still want games to look good in terms of maybe like art direction and art style, but in terms of the games that most people talk about when they're talking about like the big graphics are like photorealistic, I don't need them to look any more photorealistic than they do.
Yeah.
I'm fine with where we're at, and I was probably fine. Again, I was fine where we were at maybe like 5 years ago. It's fine. It's the easiest thing to advertise, so gaming companies keep trying to push it. And also, they're not, as we mentioned earlier, they're not optimizing very well, so
Yeah.
it's like doubling down and making things really hard to run.
Like,
No.
honestly, let's get some cool physics engines going again.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I had this thought back in
Like, I think you and me talked about it at some point. Like, how cool it was that in, like, Splinter Cell, you could, like, shoot the fish tank and the water would drain to the bullet hole.
Yeah. But so back in, I believe it was 2013 when The Last of Us came out on PS3. When I played that and I finished the game, I remember I literally sat there looking at the graphics and I thought, honestly, if this had better anti-aliasing and just slightly cleaner textures, I would be fine with these graphics forever. Just update CPUs and give me better physics and like more destructible environments, smarter AI and things like that, you know? Graphics don't need to be photorealistic as long as your art style looks good.
Honestly, I relatively recently, last year, beat Red Dead 2. And what I remember most about that game is not how it looked. It wasn't like how realistic the horses' nutsacks were and like how everything looked. It was the stories. It was the characters, and it was the amazing voice acting and how everyone moved and how everything played out. And it definitely wasn't the gameplay. I'm sorry. But it was the fantastic story that I will always remember about that game. And at no point was I like, wow, this looks amazing. I never gave a shit. I never fucking cared. I just wanted to get to the next story beat because the story was fucking sick.
Yeah.
And, you know, saying how cool the graphics are, it's like, none of it fucking matters in the long term. Like, once upon a time, we thought Ocarina of Time was like the most realistic, cool, amazing thing we've ever seen in our entire lives. And it's like, it's charming, but like, you don't care. You don't care that it looked realistic. You care that the game was great.
There are a lot of video game devs out here saying, you could see the individual blades of grass moving and the wind and everything. Shadow the Hedgehog did that in 2005. It looked sick there. So I'm not impressed anymore.
You ever played Flower on PS3?
Yes. I love
yes.
Flower.
Right? Like, having individual blades of grass that blow in the wind and everything, like, they did that fucking 20 years ago,
Yeah.
bro. That's not special.
Fuck, that was 20 years ago.
Oh,
What?
Oh, God, it was.
Just under
No.
20 years ago, man.
No. I wasn't 10 when Flower came out.
Well, Flower came out, I think, in 2007 or 8, so almost 20 years ago.
Okay, so I was 12. Fuck me.
Yeah, man.
God,
It's
no.
been a long time.
Shoot me.
Yeah.
Xbox 360 just came out, though.
I mean, the main reason I view this as a hot take is because you see this all the time
Yeah.
in trailers. There's
Yeah.
always a comment where someone goes like, "What the fuck is this? It looks like a PS2 game."
Oh.
And at minimum, it at least looks like a PS3 game because
Yes.
this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
But like, people complain about graphics all the time, and I'm like, this game looks fine. Like, it looks pretty good. It looks better than. What was the game I always used? I always used Witcher 3 as an example. I don't think I need like a photorealistic game to really look better than Witcher 3 did. I'm
Yeah.
happy with that level, and that game came out a while ago. And no, to be fair, I only played that after they fully patched everything on it. I did not play that at launch. I have no idea if they ever improved its graphics or anything like that.
They didn't improve the graphics, but let me tell you, the game didn't work when it came out.
Yeah, I'm sure they improved performance and stuff.
Yeah.
What, you don't want Roach to just be on a roof and then you not have him?
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think too many people are focused on graphics, and developers are focused on graphics, and that's because it's easy to sell.
Yeah.
It's very easy to make a trailer where things look good, and people go, "Wow, that looks so good," and yet they didn't actually look at
Where's the game?
Yeah,
But there was no gameplay. So many trailers nowadays are just fucking cinematics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a movie trailer. Bong.
Like I played this game recently called Promise Mascot Agency, and graphically it doesn't look good. Like, it actually looks like somewhere between like late PS2 to like mid PS3. Although obviously you're playing, like 4K and anti-aliasing and shit. But the art style is really strong in that game, and the game itself is just fun. That even me, where I love good looking graphics, I didn't question. I just played the game. I enjoyed it. I had a really fucking good time. Like, they don't need to spend so much time fucking making like every little fucking follicle of hair on some dude's nutsack being like perfect. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, when a game dev says something like, you can like count the individual pores on the guy's face, I'm like, I will never do that. I am not going to look at that guy's face that much. I'm going to see the back of his head
Yeah.
for like 90% of the game.
I don't know. I really appreciated that Remedy. Let me look at that one guy's hyper-realistic penis.
I mean, good for you.
Sure.
Sure thing, buddy.
Good for you. Anyway,
And there was
Peepily.
Pippin.
I mean, yeah, a stylized graphics will always definitely age way better.
Yeah.
A lot of my favorite games of all time have very stylized graphics, and a lot of them are older now.
Like, look how good the Wind Waker looks.
Wind Waker, the GameCube, not even its HD variant.
Why'd you
still
smile
looks
when
great.
you said that? Why'd you smile when you said
Well,
HD?
but yeah, no, it still looks like really nice. It's
Yeah.
aged amazingly.
Dragon Quest 8.
Dragon Quest 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game still looks fucking phenomenal.
Or was it 11?
No, 8. Literally the PS2 one.
Oh, damn. Yeah. That's
It
true.
still
No, that's
looks
true.
good.
That's true.
A lot of the Dragon Ball games, cell shading helps a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. And having Cell in the game also.
Yeah.
But like, just
Dragon Ball.
really.
I can't believe they
strong-
had Cell shade every individual frame.
It's a
He worked really hard on it.
really
Perfect.
But just having a really nice, clean, like, good art style and then just have the anti-aliasing for those smooth edges. That's it. Like, it looks fucking good.
Hot
But now we
take.
can't run the fucking newest Borderlands on fucking anything.
Well, I can't.
But apologies.
I mean, so I can run that.
I can run that.
Okay, sorry, Sliv. I feel like I just interrupted you.
Hot take.
Let's hear it.
We need cheats in video games again. They were dope as fuck.
I mean, I would say
Let me do wacky, stupid shit after I beat campaign.
yeah. What I would
Yeah.
say, I think we need more in video games. We need more like fun unlockables in general,
Yes.
not just cheats, but like you know, just things, extra costumes, or like a dumb, I don't know, everyone has a big head mode or something like that.
Give me big head mode in Indiana Jones.
You can't see your
Happens to the
fucking
best of us.
see your phone.
But we do have unlockables. You unlock them with your credit card.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, a lot
So
of it
the
became
main-
Talking about extra costumes.
The
in
main
store.
thing is that a lot of stuff like that has been regulated to microtransactions and DLC. Why would they put an unlockable costume in the game when they can sell it to you for $5? Why would they put a cheat code that lets you, I don't know, get infinite XP when they can sell you an XP booster? Stuff like that.
Have I ever told you guys what's included in the Indiana Jones DLC pass?
No.
No, but I know what's in it. Tell me.
Off the bat, you get the Temple of Doom outfit. If you pre-ordered, you get the Last Crusade outfit. And then eventually, when it drops, I think it just dropped, something like that, as of recording.
The expansion?
Yeah,
I think
you
it's-
get the expansion for a game that released last November.
Well,
That
games, there are many games releasing now that their whole thing is we have a roadmap for the next 2 years of what you're going to be buying.
Oh, I'm
DLC.
fine with like a roadmap, but like when you buy like a premium edition of the game that like already like you're already buying the DLC, or like they're calling it a season's pass, but its season is dropping a DLC 7 months after release, and that's it. That's all. Game over, man.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Am I high, or are basically all those outfits like the same outfit?
Temple of Doom, he's like in a leather vest.
Yeah, they're.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Last Crusade, he's kind of more in like a leather coat.
Okay.
Yeah, like the unnamed guest brought up having more unlockable like costumes and stuff, and the fact that they just relegate it to like microtransactions, and I feel like I would be fine with having cosmetics as microtransactions, as long as like there's a lot of times where games will let you change your outfit, but there's not even a single extra free one to unlock in the game. It's only if you purchase.
Yeah.
Like, let me find at least a few different outfits in the game, or at least change the colors of the different items on the base outfit, and then you can sell shit. Like, let me customize somewhat.
Or the grossest one is there are some games where it'll be like a big story moment. You use a special outfit, and then you have to buy the outfit to use it after that.
Why?
Very recently, I beat Sifu, and basically every single costume in that game is unlocked after you beat the fucking game. And unless you buy the DLC, which gives you one costume, and then a bunch of other ones you have to do a bunch of hard shit to unlock. So you are seeing the same fucking costume basically your entire fucking playthrough, which most people would just call it after that. And then, what would be the point of fucking playing after that?
Yeah.
And there's like 15 different costumes, and you literally just see the whole game. It annoys me.
Yeah. I feel like if you unlock an outfit in, say, like, Chapter 1, when you get to Chapter 2,
One for
you
each-
should be able to put that on.
Just one for each chapter.
Like,
Please,
bro,
please.
come on.
Next hot take, anybody?
I have an interesting one because I want to follow up on a hot take Sliv did not have in the podcast, but he had in
Real
the
life?
Discord
Oh, okay.
at one point. And this isn't necessarily a gaming
I'm
one.
mentioning grippers. I swear to fucking God.
No.
Gripper
I
gang.
want to get the actual quote. So 3 years ago, Sliv.
Okay.
Oh, gee.
Holy fuck. All right.
Get out of the
That's a
fucking
long time
DeLorean,
ago,
Ren.
wow.
Time ago, I want to see if you still hold this opinion.
Okay.
3 years ago, you posted a picture of the textless Magic the Gathering lightning bolt. And you
Yes.
said, and I quote, "Hot take, Magic should do this more often." Now that it's been 3 years and we've realized that reading the card never explains the card anymore, how do you feel about textless lightning bolt?
Well, this has nothing to do with video games, but
It has something to do with games.
there is a Magic the Gathering
for
video game.
iconic
Arena.
cards. Like really iconic staples. Something like a lightning bolt. Or dare I say, something like a lotus. Or something like that. That would make sense. Something that the community has connected with and kind of
Counterspell.
understands. Counterspell. It's kind of self-explanatory after a while. But you can't just fucking drop Fire Lord Zuko! A card from a new set with new, unique fucking mechanics and drop it as a full art textless fuck! Thank you.
I mean,
Okay, sorry. I don't know. I think I missed something. We're complaining about full out cards that don't have text on them.
yes.
Okay. Just want to
Yes.
be clear.
Yeah.
Zero text. Something like something that's
We
ubiquitous,
understand.
like a lightning bolt or a counter spell.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. Something that's new, something that's just dropping, unique mechanics should never have that.
Yeah, but have you considered how much money Wizards is making?
Yes. And
My
fuck
boy raises a
Hasbro.
point.
And
How
fuck
much money do they have to
Wizards.
make before you admit that you're wrong?
Wizards is single-handedly making Hasbro stay afloat. So like,
Save it for the Magic podcast and
we already had one this year.
next year. I mean,
I feel like we might be at a point we
Well,
can do one this year.
For
Hot take.
Hasbro, it's Magic and also fucking Baldur's Gate was huge for them.
Dude,
No,
it's like
true.
just magic. FF did $250 million on day one.
Didn't they also fire the studio that did Baldur's Gate now?
I think they
I think
did.
they were going to lay them off
Pretty
for
cool.
their hard work.
Larian?
Yeah.
I believe.
No,
they're-
Larian's independent, I believe, aren't they?
I believe that Hasbro wants to do like Baldur's Gate 4 by someone who's not Larian.
Oh, because Larian doesn't want to do Baldur's Gate 4.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Larian wants to
Okay.
go and do their own thing,
Okay.
and Hasbro wants to use the name recognition of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. So just because we brought this up for the people at home, just so you understand the context, the reason that Larian doesn't want to do Baldur's Gate 4 is because they initially planned to do expansions and then they planned to do a fourth game, but then they realized we spent so many years in this universe and it took so long and so many hurdles. Do we want to do all of that all over again in the same universe or make something entirely different and original now? That's why they don't want to do 4.
I mean, as far as I haven't really played too much Baldur's Gate 3, but as far as I'm aware, they spent so much time in that universe, and they didn't even finish Act 3, so, like, whatever.
I mean, at least I got to Act 3 on like fucking Phantom Pain.
Hot take. We should not have another console generation till like 2029.
Well, I mean, I think that goes with my hot take of graphics show and improve.
Yes.
I think we should focus on optimization and, interesting gameplay and stuff.
Like,
And yeah, we don't need a PS6.
Have we even gotten
Dude, I'm
through-
hearing rumors that they're going to announce new consoles next year.
Here's the thing.
So
And like they're always rumors. Like look at the Pork Chopper. The Pork Chopper thought the
Full of
fucking
rumors.
Switch 2 would have been released
realistically,
like March of
fucking should've.
24.
it should have. But anyways, so they're supposed to announce consoles at the end of next year. I've heard about that, but they always announce the consoles at least 2 years before they come out. So we're talking 2028.
Like it's
I still think that's too early, considering the first fucking 4 years of this generation was all cross-gen.
yeah, it
games.
was all cross-gen.
And there's still
Like,
a
what
lot
was the
still
point?
coming out of last gen. I still firmly believe, even now, that we haven't finished the rollout of this generation of game consoles.
Yeah.
and hey, Nintendo's already saying just develop your games
Yeah,
for
just
the Nintendo
develop for
Switch.
Switch 1. Like you don't need a dev kit. What are you talking about?
The actual fuck is going on at Nintendo? I mean,
Iwata died.
I mean,
10 years ago.
yeah, sure, and there's a trickle down effect of that.
And
but, like,
Reggie retired.
I'm sorry, this kind of leads into not even a hot take, just like a speculation, but like Nintendo is hitting like the biggest, not just mean streak, just like shithead streak, but like actual like low key creative bankruptcy potentially. Like, I feel like between Tears of the Kingdom being like we just took an open world and slapped some more shit on it, and Donkey Kong being like, well, we took Mario Odyssey and we just put another character in it with destruction mechanics. I don't know, man. I haven't. It kind of feels like we just, not the same game twice, but like we're getting a very similar game twice.
It's the homogenization of Nintendo mainline games.
Yeah.
We'll have to see about Prime 4.
Yeah.
If Prime 4 is a homogenization,
Well, okay. Well, Prime 4 is kind of different because it's a sequel. A, it's a sequel. B, it's literally like a sequel to a established series.
I'm just saying if it follows some similar design trends that we keep seeing in Nintendo games.
But that's not even a hot take. That's just happening. And it sucks.
Nintendo's always kind of, like, especially in recent times, trying to been like the Disney of video games.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little less in terms of trying to eat everyone else.
Yeah.
But they treat their games very like sacred, and they never lower the price. They basically throw things in the Nintendo vault and stuff like that.
Like, remember the stupidity with releasing the original Fire Emblem for the first time in English?
Yep.
You got it with, like, what was it? You pre-ordered something, and that's it? And it was only available for, like, a month if you pre-ordered it digitally?
Yep.
Like, and I know 3D All-Stars was kind of the same situation, where it had a very limited print run, and like that still sold more than a lot of GameCube games.
I think the print run wasn't so much the issue as the time gate. It was
Yeah.
at a point they were going to stop selling it. You couldn't download it anymore. I'm not sure what the price is looking like for it now. I know it took a long time, though, for it to start getting more expensive.
I don't think it's that expensive, actually.
Well, because in that
Like, all
year
things
that it was
considered.
available or whatever, they probably sold so many.
Yeah.
So the price isn't going to raise that much.
But it's still like a scummy practice.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
It's one thing to stop making a physical copy, but to then remove the digital?
Now, from what I'm seeing, and I'm only seeing NTSC and PAL, NTSC is 123 CAD, and PAL is 93 CAD.
Okay, so it's gone up a bit now.
It's gone up a little bit. Which is
$120 is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
Because I think it was one of their lower price games when it came out.
I think it was.
I think it was like a $50.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember it being a 50.
I think
It might have been a
50
69 CAD.
I think it was
69 CAD?
50 US. I think it was 60 Canadian.
So I remember I got a pretty good price for mine. I can't remember what it was now. It's been years.
Yeah.
But I purchased a copy because I was worried about it. And then it's like not even the definitive way to play any of those games. So,
actually, it's now the definitive way to play Sunshine until that comes to Switch Online.
I heavily disagree.
The Switch GameCube controller fixes all the issues. But I know you have to like buy an extra $100 fucking controller.
If you have to buy a $100 peripheral to make the game actually playable, and I thought the whole thing was you still didn't have the pressure sensitivity.
You do with the GameCube controller.
So they've updated the game because I know it wasn't a thing if you.
It wasn't a thing at launch.
It wasn't a thing at launch.
Or if you use the GameCube adapter.
That's what I was about to say. So they have updated a game that is no longer for sale to do something that they could have done all those years ago, and they gated it behind a $100 stupid peripheral.
Yes.
And I think that is some next level bullshit.
Real shit.
Frankly, I think that the freaking adapter trigger should have just been a thing still. I don't understand why it went away.
Yep.
I also want to know why, this is even a hot take, I'm just going on a little tangent. This is becoming the Tangent Podcast. Why the hell we had control sticks figured out in 2001 to a quality that was very good. I could still plug in a GameCube controller today, and it's not going to have stick drift unless it was used for Smash for 20 years, or a PlayStation 2 controller or an original Xbox controller and have no drift. I can buy a brand new pair of Joy-Cons tomorrow come home and it'll already have joystick drift out of the box.
Because they were built to last back in the day, and now they're just built to get your money.
And the controller is 3 times the goddamn price and half the quality. And
The thing is, like, you can buy third-party controllers for like $40-$50 that have Hall effect or TMR.
yeah,
There's
it is.
no reason for
It is
them
not acceptable.
to
And
be using
each one of the big 3 is still using the stupid joysticks to get drift.
because it's an extra revenue stream where they know people are gonna have to buy new controllers. Like, man, for PS4, I think I went through like 3 or 4 DualShock 4s. My PS3 controllers, fucking went through plenty of those. Same thing with PS2 because it's always the joysticks. They always fuck up.
Like, I told them to suck my sack this past generation.
Didn't do it, did they?
I personally mailed Nintendo, and I'm like,
I
hey,
told
suck my
Nintendo.
fucking sack.
Uh,
you know, I
Doug Bowser coming to
emailed,
my house to suck my sack?
I emailed Mr. Miyamoto at gmail.com.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, hey,
That's his email,
look,
by the way.
that's his real email. Don't email it.
Go email him. Do it. Do it, pussy. Sorry.
And I'm like, Miyamoto-san, I'm not buying a fucking Joy-Cons for $100. I'm just gonna get like this $10 like Gullah Kit fucking replacement sticks and put them in myself. Eat my ass, suck my dick.
Yeah, and sadly, that's what it's come down to. Is you have to learn how to maintain these things yourself because they don't last anymore. And like to an extent, at a point, you have to maintain everything. Like I think this might be a hot take. It's irresponsible for some people to be owning retro consoles because some of them are very high maintenance now. And
That's
a lot of
actually
people-
true.
And a lot of people don't know that. Like, you have to crack open an original Xbox
Yep,
and
yep.
remove that battery. You have to, like, if you want to service like, people are getting the CRTs again, and it's become big. Some of the VTuber streamers brought it back into the mainstream again. But it happens every few months. It comes around. The CRT, people are like, oh man, CRTs are great. Servicing a CRT is one of the most dangerous things that a human being can ever do because it is so easy to turn yourself into a corpse at instant speed because those capacitors hold voltage for so goddamn long. And people don't realize that. They don't realize that there is even though like, and it's not a cheap hobby anymore, it used to be, there are so many people that don't realize, hey, you know what, like, it might be better for me to consider an alternate avenue to play some of these games. And there isn't always an alternate avenue for sure. Because if you want to play it the best way, it's going to take some work on your part. To get back to the point, though, where was I going with this?
People need to know how to take care of their
People-
shit.
oh, yeah, going back to the
Look
Switch
at
right
your Coleco, for example,
Yeah,
with the
I-
liquid switches.
Yeah, I got to redo a bunch of that stuff. And coming forward, yes, there is that. I think, though, when those things were new, you didn't need to know those things. You didn't need to know how to replace joysticks on a GameCube controller in 2005. Or like a 360 controller, for example. You didn't need to know that for years and years and years. It wasn't a problem. Now you can buy a Switch, and in 2 years you might have to learn how to replace those joysticks. I think that's a good skill to have. It shouldn't be on the consumer, however, to have to do that for everything. And it's sadly just how it is. if you
It
wanna
is
maintain
good
things.
information to have. It's
Yes.
like our grandparents knowing how to like fix their car or like fix the dishwasher, fix the washing machine, just like fucking take it apart and make it work again. Like it's a skill for
Yes, it is a really good skill. I would also argue that a thing should work for a certain amount of time out of the
Yeah.
box before you have to utilize that skill.
It's I mean, part of it's the console. Part of it's also just the Game Boy cartridges. I never saw myself doing any kind of maintenance on my games and stuff, but here I was like fucking 10 years ago changing out the battery to Pokemon Gold so I could play that shit.
I will say, if any of you want to get into being able to fix like your own equipment, especially with retro gaming, the first thing and best thing you could probably do is replace a battery on any kind of cartridge. Like,
Yeah, that gives you
it gives you some
basic-
skills.
basic
It'll
skills.
teach you the basics of soldering.
Yeah. That was a relatively safe one. Also, just like cleaning a console,
Yep.
particularly like a Sega console, or like because that way you don't have to buy any special tools. Anything
Yes.
that lets you take it apart with a Phillips.
Yeah, it's
That
just a
thing
Phillips.
can-
Like take apart like a Mega
I don't
Drive
know
or
about
a Master
whatever
System.
the fuck it is that Nintendo uses.
the game bit. I can't remember what the exact name. I just know it by Gamebit. There's
Yeah.
different sizes.
I keep forgetting what they're called.
The one where you melt a pen cap to.
Yeah, it's that one. It's the one that's like a reverse torque spit, but isn't.
Yeah. Although I will say on the flip side, to bring it back to what we were talking about, which is hot takes, you should know how to maintain these things, and you suck if you buy like especially retro hardware, and you're like, wow, it doesn't work now, and you just throw it in the trash.
Yep.
Boil the 72-pin connector before you try to throw it away.
It's strategy. I've done it. Okay, it's to put the pins back in place.
And don't be surprised if you open it up and then you find out it's missing some shit because someone else probably fucked around in there.
Because some dumbass boiled a 72-pin connector. It didn't work.
Like my Sega Genesis, my Model 1, that someone like got a knife and scratched the word bitch onto the top of it, is missing its RF shielding on the top.
Strange.
Yeah, it's like it's
Okay.
just completely gone.
We're going way off.
But like, don't be surprised. Learn to fix your stuff. It's a useful skill, but also it's a skill we shouldn't have to have for modern equipment.
New equipment coming out.
Don't give yourself the zinging zap on the CRT.
Yes.
Hot take, do give yourself the zippy zap on the CRT.
Hot take: Thunderclip should hold hands and then do the zinging zap on the CRT.
We can spread it.
We're going out together. Spread the joy.
love.
Almond joy.
Also, this one, for a very specific subset of community, you don't actually need a CRT to enjoy retro games. It's a nice to have. However, you should also understand that, like, if you don't have space to have a big goddamn box in your room, you can get 99% of the same experience with, like, a tiny bit of effort.
Yeah.
Remember, emulation is not theft, and Nintendo can eat your ass.
Perfectly legal, even if Nintendo wants to tell you it's not.
Go buy the ripping tool, so you can be the ripping friend.
Gentlemen, do we have any other hot takes?
I have one, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think my
you know
opinion
what?
on
Drop
this,
it and let's
Drop
see
it,
what
it'll be
happens.
our final
my
one.
opinion has changed on my own hot take since I wrote it down. I wrote
Really?
this back in July.
Okay.
Now I'll just read what I put down. Gacha isn't actually that bad, and people overblow the issues sometimes. It's no worse than a paid game with a battle pass, and arguably better because you can play it for free without ever having to engage in gambling or spending to access content in many cases. The example I was going to give was I have played probably like hundreds of hours of Genshin.
How'd that go?
At the time, my argument was very sound. Since then, they've added a bunch of stuff that I would argue is fairly pay to access or behind more paywalls. I think that I do still hold to an extent that you can get an incredible amount of gameplay out of a gacha game without ever having to
Break your pee-pee.
brick your pee-pee, which is the term that we eloquently use to explain spending money on a gacha game.
Yeah.
The universal agreement that binds us all from whaling is the threat of a brick hitting us in the pee-pee. I think like an argument to be made though that a lot of times people get up in arms. They're like, "Oh man, gacha doesn't really count as a video game because like you have to spend money to get the most out of it." I think you can get like in many cases 95% of the game without ever having to spend $1. Yes, it means spending more time. You have to question how much your time is worth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, consistently speaking, every time I've played a gacha, it was never about not getting the character for me. It was never about not getting that artifact for me or whatever the fuck. It was always the fucking grind. There was always a point in every single gacha for whatever reason that it's like, hey, you have to do artifacts and you have to get the right kind of artifact that has the right stats when you get it. And you have to do the same fucking fight over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you eventually get your optimal artifact set. And then if it's not that, it's grinding for a million other fucking things. I kind of do understand why gachas are a hamster wheel like that. It's to make it a daily occurrence so that you are, weirdly desensitized to
Every
this.
time you open the game, there's a chance that you will spend money. So
Yeah.
they want you to open
There
the
you go.
game every day.
Exactly. And so that's why grinding and the currency for grinding is usually tied to a daily timer. Short term, that might be okay, but every single time I have tried to cope with that, I have found myself falling the fuck off and realizing I could be spending my time in so many better places. I could be getting some kind of genuine story. I could be progressing in some kind of interesting way. And I am just doing the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again. And that is not to say that Genshin does not have its merits. I think its open world is fine. I think its character designs are great. I think, whatever good shit you've got out of the game is valid. But keep that grind the fuck away from me, and it is like the reason I stay away from gacha. It's just like, I don't care. It's not the worst grind, but inevitably every gacha leads to this grind for some fucking reason.
I think the thing that recently swayed my take here, because that's a fairly recent thing I wrote down. Like, July was not that long ago. We're at the end of August right now. It's at the time of recording. I think the thing that swayed me, though, was we saw a string with Genshin where, for the longest time, if you had a team built, you could make whatever you wanted to work for you.
Yes.
I mean, like, there were people who could make, like, weird oddball characters you wouldn't necessarily want to be your main DPS into a main DPS, and you could clear, at the time, the hardest content in the game. If you dedicated enough time and effort, you could do it. And I'm seeing now characters coming out where it's like, if you do not have this character, you are actively at a disadvantage, and the game will punish you for being at that disadvantage.
Yep.
We had a new character, Skirk, come out not too long ago. She is ridiculous. She outclasses every other cryo main DPS by such a wide margin, they are completely irrelevant by comparison. Other than the fact that, like, you're relatively locked down with her. That is the one downside, is that you're locked down to just a freeze team with her. You can't use it with melt and stuff. Her ideal team required you to have pulled on the previous banner as well to get another new character in Escoffier. If you don't have Escoffier for your Skirk, you are losing out on a massive amount of DPS that you cannot make up with another character. You are locked into one fairly expensive premium team to get the most out of it. Now, she's good outside of that, but you are losing out on so much of what this character has to offer because you didn't get another limited 5-star character that you want on this team. And I think, like, that very quickly has turned me off the game pretty heavily, because the power scaling not only is ramping up incredibly fast, but you're locked to these specific units, and you need to have the other pieces to the puzzle. And even like characters I want to run, or the characters I did run, if I want them to hang as I go forward, I need to have other limited units. And sometimes it's not even like just on their own. Sometimes you need limited 5-stars with constellations, which is
Ridiculous.
Incredibly challenging as a free-to-play player and could take years.
Yes.
And that's ignoring that if you want the 4-star issue is an entirely different kettle of fish. If you want certain 4-stars, you have to wait forever. Like, I know Amber isn't a good character. I main Amber. If I want a C6 Amber, it might take me 3 years because I have to wait for her to pop up on the shop. And God forbid I want a character that doesn't pop up on the shop, because I could just never get them. There was a person who pulled on a 4-star that they really liked, Dahlia. They like had like a fan account leading up to Dahlia's release and everything. They spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars and got a C2. He's a 4-star unit. And I think like that combination of all those events at once really turned my opinion around, that there are underlying problems that still exist. And while there are periods in where games that are better at handling it, sadly, those issues are starting to crop up again a little bit more. And I think that like maybe it's a situation where we go through waves of it where gacha is in a better place because people get fed up, and then you have to get the players back, and then it starts the bullshit all over again.
And now we're looking down the barrel of C10s.
Yeah, now we have C10s where you have to like pull such a ridiculous amount of characters, and endgame where you need C6 5-stars, where it is to get the most out of the game. And people are like, well, just don't engage with that content. It's like, well, there's more and more of it that wants these ridiculous, not just like I would say premium, I'm saying like whale teams especially if you want to play a character that's not top meta, because you need these crazy supports to make them remotely playable. But anyway, that's how hot takes can sometimes go away. The hot take became cold. And it's not to say that, like, I regret playing Genshin, and I probably will still play it to some extent. It's just, I see the folly in my thought process a little bit more here.
You know, from my perspective, I think the life of Opera Omnia and, like, documenting it on our channel and playing it for years and seeing how that game died has definitely changed my perspective on gacha games. And that every time I, like, vaguely consider, like, joining another one, I immediately get thoughts of running the same content over and over again, or the game dying.
Yeah.
And am I saying Genshin's going away? Fucking no.
No, 20 more years, baby.
20 more years, apparently. Okay, sure, you have fun with that. But just know that your favorite game can be shut down. It will. It can and will, regardless of what you do. I'm sure Genshin is so big, they'll find some kind of way to, hold it down offline. But
Nope. Say goodbye to your money.
it's all going to go away on a long enough timeline. But so are we all. So how about we send this fucking podcast off?
Like everything, all good things must come to an end. And this Hot Takes podcast, where we were weirdly agreeative with each other. That's not a word, but
Perhaps it's simply a changing of the times. Perhaps age has mellowed us out a little bit. Or perhaps, I don't know, we all just forgot our hottest takes.
Join us on Hot Takes 3 in like 3 years.
It's just a difference in, I guess, I'd like to think I was jaded about video games before, and now it's like, good shit comes out, but I am primed to expect disappointment in some kind of way.
I think I just don't have time for, like, the bullshit as much anymore. I'll enjoy what I want to enjoy, and I'll sit in my corner with my rekindled childlike wonder, and
For sure. Yeah.
yeah.
You know what? Okay.
Ooh, yes.
I got one that, okay, wait,
Go.
one
Go.
one
Let's
that
do it.
everyone in
Let's
this,
do it.
I think Fortnite concerts are cool. I think the idea of a concert by a musician in a game that is free to play, that you can just go to, is neat. I think that's cool. And the little zoomy zooms can fucking, see Travis Scott, quote unquote, performing, I guess, in the game. I think that's neat.
Kaz, you cringe.
What I will say is, I don't necessarily have a problem with like the in-game like concerts and stuff. I just wish that with these celebrities and like these bands, like I think Metallica did something in Fortnite as well. If there was more interactivity, there was more cool shit to do, rather than just the fucking concert's going on and I'm just fucking around.
Jumping around, yeah.
Like, if there was more interactivity and more cool ways to interact with the band, or like fuck around with the stage and different things, like that would be cool. We'll see if that happens. If Epic feels like doing something other than printing money, but
Okay, sorry for the cringe Fortnite take.
I will say it would be cool if there were, like, concerts in actual, like, full VR. I think, like, that's actually a good use for fucking VR, and we haven't gone anyway.
Yeah.
This podcast has gone long enough, and I want it to die. So
same.
Same. Anyway,
that's another Thunderstorm podcast. If you enjoyed listening to us for the last hour and a half, make sure to drop us a like, a subscribe, a little follow on our social medias, perhaps. And also, if you have any hot takes of your own, because I'm sure there's some spicy ones out there, make sure to drop it in the comments below. We always love reading your spicy takes, and honestly, maybe one day we'll do a hot takes of viewers' hot takes. So that'll be all. Talk to you guys later, and we'll see you next time.
bye guys.
See ya.
Oh.